back to another video. Thank you for tuning in. This is gonna be the first video of the series. Hopefully it wouldn't be boring. I don't think you guys will find it boring, just because it's just gonna be me talking about the car itself. These videos are gonna be more just me talking to the camera and me just talking about the car, so you guys would, know a lot about the cars. From what I've been reading on the comments, it seems like you guys would actually really be entertained with the information I'm going to be talking about the car. So I don't even know where to begin, but I've had this on my mind just to share it with you guys before talking about maintenance, things you can do to solve different problems in the car. But I just wanted to talk more about the car and actually get you guys more connected to it. So I'm basically going to be talking about, as you can see the title of the video, pretty much going to be talking about the car when I first got it and what problem I had with it and pretty much the steps I took to solve it. And I guess you guys can learn from my experience, and instead of taking the longer route, you can take the shorter route to solving a problem like this. So you guys already know, I've had this car for about 2 years now. In May it'll be 2 years, but since it's close to May, that's technically 2 years of owning the car. I've had this car, I got it May 22nd, and when I got it, it had 110,000 miles on it. And I think the first year, I'm pretty sure I put 30,000 miles on it because I just loved driving it and I drove it a lot. I took a lot of trips on it. But to get to the main point with this car, when I first got it, drove it, everything was fine. I believe it was on a Thursday or Friday when I got it. So that weekend, we actually took it on a, I guess round trip. You could say it was a 6-hour trip. We took it to the beach. Everything was fine on the car until, I would say an hour left on the trip. Coming back, the car just went into like limp mode. It had the ESP on, it had the ABS on, it had Brakewear Visitworshop. I don't know if you guys, some of you have seen my content on my Instagram, but when I first got the car, I posted that content on there asking for help and stuff like that. But I want to talk more about that in case you guys run into that problem and how I actually solved it, and pretty much the journey of trying to get it fixed, which was a headache to me. So you guys don't have to worry about that headache when you do actually encounter that problem on the car. But pretty much the car, so with these cars, if the car goes into limp mode, the car can either be stuck in park or you can't get out of second or third gear. So that was what was happening to the car on the way back. Matter of fact, we actually limped it an hour back home, and I want to say it was probably in third gear, and I didn't push it hard. I just kept it at 3,000 RPMs, and it was at 3,000 RPMs for an hour till we got home. And I mean, the transmission is still fine right now. So that tells you a lot. The transmission is pretty bulletproof. But let me, enough of that, let me get into it. So pretty much, let me open the hood real quick for you guys. Okay, so before I tell you what the solution actually was, let me just tell you the whole story so you guys can, I guess, easily connect with what was wrong with the car to getting it fixed. So pretty much when I got this car, obviously, everyone says, anything that goes wrong with this car, especially electronics, it's gonna be super expensive to fix. And at that time, obviously, this was my first, Mercedes, and I didn't really know a lot about it. And with this problem, that's when I actually started doing a lot of research, diving deep into how things work on this car, what kind of maintenance to look out for or to do, just routine stuff to keep this car running. And so with me having the problem with the ESP, ABS, Brakewear, Visitworshop, car getting stuck in limp mode, the car getting stuck in park, The first thing I did was I knew an independent mechanic, and he knew this car in and out. The thing with, you know, having an independent mechanic is they don't have the tools as like a regular European shop or the dealership. I ended up doing was going to him because I knew it would cost less than actually taking it to a dealership or to an actual European shop. Now, before I took it to him, there's a little story behind that. I got in touch with the guy that actually sold me the car, and he was willing to actually help me. So, you know, we took the car. He said he knew a few guys, different shops, because he's a car dealer. We took it to one shop. They said it was definitely the conductor plate. It needed changed because they scanned the car and came up with the codes, and basically they said they need to change the conductor plate with the fluid. And so I was like, oh, okay, so that's an easy fix. Now, they said it could be either that or it could be the speed sensors on one of the 4 tires. They said it could be the module as well. It could be, you know, filled with fluid. So it could be anything. There was a lot of possibilities of, you know, what the problem could be, and that really overwhelmed me. So I ended up not going to that European shop and getting it fixed, because they told me if I do spend the money getting it fixed and it's not it, obviously I'm gonna have to spend more money trying to change out other things in the car that would eventually fix the car. And so I decided to end up going with the independent mechanic I had. He started working on the car. 2 weeks went by, nothing. He had actually changed the conductor plate and the fluid, and that wasn't the cause of it. A month went by. We actually went to a sister CLK car and swapped out the TCU. That wasn't it. We swapped out the speed sensor. Wasn't it. His computer that he used to scan the car, he has a software on his laptop, was giving us a bunch of codes, and the codes related to the problem was pretty much everything we had done, and still that wasn't it. And that took 2 months, guys. 2 months of not being able to drive this car. I was this close to saying, you know, I actually don't want this car anymore. Like, I told the guy, like, you know, maybe I should just, you know, give the car back, get my money back, whatsoever, because 2 months, guys, 2 months. So later down the road, doing that 2 months, you know, I decided, you know, I'm just gonna call up a bunch of European shops. Oh, also I forgot to mention one other thing we changed also that didn't solve the problem. Let me show you real quick on the engine bay. So this right here is the ESP module. We swapped this out. This is the hydraulic pump. This we didn't swap out because we figured if this is the module, you know, obviously this is what we needed to change out. That didn't end up solving the problem. I ended up taking the car to a European shop where the guy would end up, you know, helping me out. What ended up being the problem, guys, it was just something simple, very, very simple. Now, the takeaway with this is independent mechanics versus a European shop, a trustworthy European shop. Now, the other European shops I talked about earlier in the video, they said it could be a number of things, and it actually wasn't those things. Now, this shop I took it to, the guy was actually really, really good. And it was just something really simple. So, you know how I was talking about this ESP module right here and the hydraulic pump? We ended up buying a used part. We only swapped this part out. We figured since this is just the ESP module and this is the hydraulic pump, we wouldn't need to change this out. So we swapped this out and never touched this. Pretty much that was it. That literally solved the problem. Now, you can use an independent mechanic for, you know, in terms of engine work or transmission, but when it comes to electronics, just take your car to a European shop because they have a computer. They have this huge computer that actually can scan and know and pinpoint exactly where the problem is coming from. So the car has been running fine since then. I've not had any major problems with the car in terms of, you know, electronics wise. And also the other thing to take away from this, I'll try and find the codes and put it in the description, but if you guys ever ran into this problem, I don't want to say it's going to pinpoint to exactly what I had to change on the car, because those codes I was getting was more related to the transmission. That's one of the things about these cars. If it throws one code, it can relate to a bunch of different modules in the car. I hope, you know, you guys could pick something out of this. So yeah, I hope you guys really enjoyed this video, and yeah, I'll see you in the next video.